Hello and welcome to episode 225 of the Thinking LSAT podcast. In Los Angeles, I'm Nathan Fox. With me in Vienna, Virginia, soon to head to the airport to fly to San Diego, Ben Olson. Taking all the boys and everything, loading up for the holidays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. I wanted to ask you if you can do it briefly, because this is going to come out after Christmas. This is going to come out on the 30th.
Okay.
And also, I imagine your boys don't listen to the show. So, what are each of the four boys getting for Christmas from oldest to youngest?
Oh. Well, first of all, I would say they're probably getting too many presents.
Okay.
You know, I was asking them what they wanted, and they always say, like, oh, I don't know, or, you know, really big things like I want an iPhone and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, oh, that's okay. And so then I just kind of procrastinate until it's too late. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I will get so-and-so an iPhone since that's what they asked for. So anyways, the second is getting an iPhone.
Okay,
XR.
Yeah, your favorite one. It's getting the best present. I knew that was going to happen. Yes.
Yeah. The oldest is getting a desk because he's building a gaming computer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. What games is he playing?
I actually don't recognize them.
Oh.
So I'll ask him and then relay that back to you.
Okay.
The next one after that is getting my old iPhone.
Okay.
I never took the time to trade it in, and it's actually good.
Right.
It's in good shape because I put it in one of those, like, you know, military grade cases, which I no longer appreciate, but I did at one point, and so it's pretty much brand new. And then the youngest is getting the second iPhone, so it's like serious, like, tech Christmas. It's bad, but whatever.
So a brand new iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Then a desk,
mm-hmm.
then a hand-me-down iPhone, and then another hand-me-down iPhone?
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. But they don't care. They're going to be excited that they have now a phone that actually
the little ones are going to be going nuts, yeah.
Yeah, they've been using Alexa for Audible their entire life, so.
Got it. Cool. And wait, are you going to get them plans? And are they going to be like on the internet and everything?
No, we're definitely going cheap here. Even Kyle won't have a plan. So,
okay.
Yeah. But he's cool with that. He just wants a better phone that actually works.
Well, he'll have Wi-Fi, so he'll be all over the internet anyway.
Unless
you're going to set up parental controls.
Oh, yes. I got those parental controls down. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You think you do. He's letting you think that you have the parental controls.
Yeah, I let them use their phones up to like 2 minutes a day. So that's the plan.
Oh. Yeah. Best 2 minutes of their entire life.
Quick. Oh, I got a text from Dad and I have to respond to that. Now my time's up. No, but yeah, they actually work really well on the iPhone, which is why I'm kind of keeping it in the iPhone family.
Gotcha. Today on the show, we have a bunch of listener emails. We got a listener saying thanks. We have some Demon updates, new stuff that you can find in the Demon study plan, model writing sample, stuff we've been working on for you. Merry Christmas, everybody. We have a Pearls versus Turds. We have a couple related emails about scholarship negotiations. We have, this time of year, Ben, everybody's getting all their offers. And so one of our former students, I'll keep her anonymous, but she sent in a spreadsheet with all of her offers, and I thought we could go through those and just kind of talk about which offers are good, which offers are bad, and like some of the things that she should be thinking about as she negotiates those offers.
Okay.
We have this is the same student actually noticed that as she was going through making the spreadsheet, a whole bunch of the brand new 509s that just came out are broken. There's like missing data, incomplete data on these new 509 reports. I thought it would be worth talking about on the show. See if we can get to the bottom of that.
How convenient.
Yeah, that's annoying. Then we have an email from a listener about how to finish a personal statement. Sound good?
Sounds great.
You got to get to the airport, so we're going to have to hustle through this stuff. This show will air on December 30th. Happy New Year, everybody. The upcoming events are January LSAT is on the 13th. That's a Monday. The deadline to register for the February LSAT is actually before that, inconveniently. Tuesday, January 7th, you have to register for the February LSAT before you even take the January LSAT. That just seems right there, Ben. That's an example of something so simple that they could just push that deadline back a week so that at least people would have the experience of taking the January test so they might have some idea whether they want to take February.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, they have to give you the full 6 weeks in advance registration for that February 22nd LSAT. So this will be almost the first... So this will be almost the last podcast that goes out before your deadline to register for the February LSAT.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You can email the show, help@thinkinglsat.com. When you do that and you want to have your face splashed on our social media, or your dog on our social media, send us a selfie of you studying or you just goofing off, whatever. Let's dive into this review, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let you take it.
Okay. Dear Ben and Nathan, this week has been crazy. On Monday, I got into Harvard. On Tuesday, I got into Stanford. Wow. Okay. I haven't made any decisions yet, and I'm still waiting to hear on aid packages from all the schools to which I've been admitted. I haven't forgotten. Don't pay for law school. Still, I wanted to reach out to thank you. Thank you for your LSAT advice. You guys helped me bring my score from a 160 to a 177. Your humor also helped me to keep going when studying got tough. More importantly, thank you for your candor. You two have created a community of informed consumers, improved writers, and no-nonsense future lawyers. There's so much misinformation in law school admissions. I like knowing that you will always provide unfiltered, unbiased, reality-based advice. In gratitude, a nun.
Wow.
Wow, that's kind of cool. Also a solid starting score of 160. Jeez.
Oh, yeah. Lots of times people start at 160 and they think it's god-awful. We hear that all the time, right? People are just devastated. They got a 155 or they got a 160 starting score. But those people can always end up knocking on the door of 170, if not like well into the 170s.
Yeah, I would say that most people are starting between 140 and 155, somewhere in that range, in the 140s. So if you're below that, you have a steep hill to climb, but that's pretty normal to start in the 140s.
Yep. And when people start at, people don't understand that. 160 is a fantastic starting score. Mm-hmm. It's a really great starting score. Yeah. But this anonymous obviously put in the work, and choosing between Harvard and Stanford, and I'm sure just a whole raft of full rides from other schools. Yeah. I do think that Harvard and Stanford are very different from all the rest of the schools. Mm-hmm. And, if Anonymous has the right goals, it could be worth borrowing the money for Harvard or Stanford. Yeah. They're like amazingly good to their alumni, right? They have, you can make a shit ton of money when you get out of school. Yeah. The schools themselves are really terrific. Yeah. They actually do open doors for you that the other schools don't. Yeah, and in other fields. I mean, just say you're a Harvard or Stanford JD, and people are like, okay, well, we know you can compete. Oh, yeah. With the best. Would you like to be an executive at my corporation? Sure. Just sort of instantly, which just doesn't happen at other schools. Yeah. Including even like Berkeley. If the difference between Stanford and Berkeley is like gigantic, I think. Yeah. I used to think, top 14, now I just don't think that at all. I've seen the type of people that go to Stanford, and I've seen the type of people that go to Berkeley. And I do think that there's a difference. It's not really, they don't deserve to be lumped into the same kind of category. That is interesting. I don't know how people will take this, but when I was working in legal writing consulting, we could also see a difference in the skill sets of those who were at higher law firms and those even just a few tiers down. Or not tiers, I mean just like, another like well-regarded law firm, but not as competitive or not as global. And you're like, wow, I can see a difference in your writing. I can see a difference in your, ability to pick up on what we're saying and so on. It's just a stratification, I guess, of some sort. But There's a difference. There's just a difference, like you can just tell. It's like when we read the first sentence of someone's, personal statement or writing sample or whatever. Mm-hmm. We read one sentence and we're like already like, oh yeah, okay, I've got an idea.
Yeah.
what kind of strata you're in.
Likely to be in, yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that like other experts in other fields can do the same thing, right? Like we're really good writers, like that's what we're expert at, really. And so, I mean, it's like, not to say that we're LeBron James or whatever, but I bet LeBron James sees you take one shot, or like sees you 5 seconds on the basketball court, and LeBron's going to be able to go, "Yep, I know where you're at."
yeah, like something about the way your feet are angled and all that kind of stuff that I have no
all of it.
awareness of.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I do think that creating a community of informed consumers is really what the show's all about. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, more than anything, right? We just want people to know what they're getting themselves into. And that's what today's going to be about, largely, when we get into this spreadsheet of all the different offers from different schools. I just got to also put it out there that this is a periodic reminder that getting your applications in early really does make a big difference. Today is December 21st. I have no idea when this email came in, because I think it went to the show. It didn't go to me. This is the first I've been reading this email. Mm-hmm. I guess, maybe let's assume it came in this week. But this is somebody who already has admission to Harvard, admission to Stanford, and, probably looks like admission to a bunch of other schools too. Mm-hmm. And that's in December. That's because this person had their shit together and applied early in the cycle.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to take the January LSAT and then apply, you're competing with this more prepared person.
Yeah.
And this more prepared person already has offers in hand. Mm-hmm. Also, when we get to the spreadsheet that we're going to go through, this was also a very prepared person. This is someone who took our advice and applied early in the cycle. People always push back, Ben. People always go, yeah, but isn't it better to apply with a higher LSAT score? And it's a false dichotomy, right? Because no, that's not your choice. Mm-hmm. Yes, you could apply now with a shitty LSAT score. Don't do that. You could apply in February with a better LSAT score. Don't do that either. Mm-hmm. Wait and apply September 1st of the next cycle with your better LSAT score.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear that advice. Everyone's always devastated when we say that. But you have to be smart about the way you're starting your legal career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Pearls versus thank you, Anonymous.
Oh, wait.
Again for writing in.
Do we want to do a demon update? Is that?
Oh shit! I almost skipped that. Yeah. Go ahead. You know most about that. Why don't you? Talk about that?
I was just gonna say that we added a model LSAT writing sample to the demon.
We did.
And a demon study plan is in lesson 1. So, and that should be available to everyone. But in any case.
The demon has evolved over time. It started off as just a tool for basically drilling. Mm-hmm. The demon is now a comprehensive LSAT course. There's nothing else you need to prepare for the LSAT besides the demon. It's got study plans, it's got lessons, it's got drilling, it's got timed sections, it's got full-timed practice tests. You were just working with the team to put in prep test 89.
That's right. Yep.
Into the demon. That was released this week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A couple days ago.
Yeah.
And is it already live in the demon?
I don't think it's already live, but it's very close.
It's going to happen. Like by the time you hear this, it'll definitely be up.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I'll be getting ask button requests to write all those logical reasoning explanations. And the demon continues to get better and better. So lsatdemon.com. You can still do a 7-day free trial, Ben?
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Beautiful.
Did you already say lsatdemon.com? Sorry, I don't know.
lsatdemon.com.
If you haven't heard of that yet, sorry if that's new. Anyways, yep.
That's lsatdemon.com. Okay. Try to be real annoying like those advertisements. Yeah. That say it 10 times.
Just call 888. Your future.
All right. Pearls versus turds time?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So here we get some potential wisdom from someone somewhere and decide whether it actually is a wise idea or a pearl or a turd.
Normally it's a turd.
Yep. Improving your concentration and ability to focus for long periods will improve your score across all sections, i.e. yoga.
That's a real bad use of IE. Wow.
That is yoga? Okay. In other words, use something like yoga to improve your concentration and your focus, and then that will then help you improve your score across all sections. Okay, so let's read what else this person has to say. Mm-hmm. Preparation doesn't just mean sitting in front of a book doing logic problems. Since for many of us, more emotional general factors like the ability to concentrate for substantial periods and the ability to return to calmness under stress heavily influence our test taking. Opportunities to improve these skills can be incredibly valuable. When I was studying for the test, I started doing yoga. I'd never done it before. But between my first yoga class and the day of the test, 9 months later, I ended up postponing my test date. Thank you for that parenthetical. I had begun doing it every day, and I'm 100% certain. 100%. Wow. Certain it played a role in enabling me to score in the 99th percentile. My concentration improved, my ability to breathe through anxiety improved tremendously. And of course, the great thing about these kinds of changes is that they have a positive effect in other areas of your life as well. It doesn't have to be yoga. Various forms of exercise, meditation practice, or any other means of enhancing your mental health through your overall physical health are important. I have mixed feelings about this. I do think that there is a connection between doing these sorts of things, yoga, meditation, whatnot, and getting familiar with yourself and learning to control your impulses and improving your ability to focus, which I do think can help you on the test. My concern is that people will use this as like a replacement for studying in some ways. Like, I'm doing all this yoga, and it's like hours of yoga are going to have diminishing returns. But I do think people struggle a lot with focus and attention, especially with all our phones these days, and learning to let go and become like in touch with the feelings that are driving you to take certain actions. Yeah. People need to recognize that, like, when you feel anxious, while you're taking the test, that's just a feeling, and recognize it and then get back to work. A lot of times I think it becomes an excuse to rush or do things after the test is over and say, oh man, like, I'm just really anxious. And it's like, yeah, a lot of people are anxious when they're taking this test. Recognize the feeling and then get back to work. And you may have to do that multiple times throughout the section, but that ability to refocus, to stand up after you've kind of been kicked down, is what distinguishes a lot of test takers from other test takers.
Yeah. If this said EG instead of IE, because I don't think that was their intention, right? Yeah. They were trying to use yoga as an example, which means you need to use EG instead of IE. Also, never, ever do that. Just don't do it.
Yep.
But if this said EG, and I think we go ahead and correct it for them, I've got it. I think I've got it as a pearl.
Okay. Yeah, I'm cool with that, as long as people don't overdo it.
Yeah, well, right. So your 3-hour yoga class, okay, that's maybe a little bit excessive, right? Or the yoga in the morning and the yoga in the evening.
Yeah.
You only have a certain number of hours in the day, and LSAT needs to have your best hour of the day. Mm-hmm. I really can't stress that enough. You need to find your best hour of the day and give it to the LSAT. Yeah. Like the LSAT is the beginning of your legal career.
Yeah.
You need to rearrange your life. I don't give a shit all of your things that you have. People love to say about their job and school and their kids and their family and everything. It's like, yeah, you're a human being. You have shit in your life. Mm-hmm. I don't care about the specifics. I care about, did you rearrange your life? I mean, it really comes down to that, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. You need to rearrange your life so that the best hour of the day is devoted to LSAT prep.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember this, but a long time ago I read the book, not that long ago, but a few months ago I read Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg, and I told you that I was kind of grappling with some of the things that he was saying. And I've come to the conclusion that some of the things he says are probably not true, but one thing that he did convince me of quite firmly over time was that he said that when you say, I have to do something, what you're doing is you're offloading responsibility for your decision to do something to some external factor, either a person or a thing. And so he said, stop doing that and just acknowledge that what you're saying is you'd prefer to do X, whatever it is. Go to your job, stay late at your work, watch Netflix, although usually people don't say they have to watch Netflix, but they may say, hey, I have to go to work. I have to be there in the morning. And just acknowledge that you would prefer to go to work than suffer the consequences of, say, not going to work, maybe losing your job. You may feel like the fact that you might lose your job is somehow like preventing you from making a choice. No, you're always making a choice. It's just that acknowledge what's exactly happening. Oh, I would prefer to go to work than face the consequences. I'd prefer to go hang out with my friends than have them be mad at me or upset with me or whatever it is that you're doing. But the thing about it is, although it can be challenging, it's also extraordinarily empowering because you can start to regain a lot more control over your life and the things that you do every day.
So just subtle changing the way you talk about it.
Yeah.
To say I get to instead of I have to.
Yeah, or I want to. Like, maybe you don't want to study. Okay, well don't say I have to go to this friend's party. They've been asking me all year. Say I want to go to this party, and maybe you don't even want to be there, but you would rather be there than disappoint your friend or feel embarrassed for saying you'd go but not going. Like, acknowledge the underlying reality of what's happening.
That you're making the choice to do that instead of constantly like speaking in a way that makes you sound victim. Like you're put upon, a total victim all the time. And instead you just like acknowledge the choices that you're making in your life. Yeah,
exactly.
All right. Well, that's I think that's a nice tip. And I would encourage people to make that choice. You're going to get to be a lawyer. You want to be a lawyer. This is the beginning of your legal career.
Yep.
You get to rearrange your life in such a way that you bring your best self to the LSAT for an hour a day. Sometimes you might need to do more, especially if you are trying to, make a large amount of progress in a shorter amount of time. Maybe an hour is not quite enough, but you really do need to make that choice for yourself to bring the best of yourself to the LSAT every day.
Yeah.
I'm leaning toward Pearl, Ben, on this tip.
Yeah.
I know you had reservations, but with our amendment, I don't think yoga specifically is the thing.
Yeah. Meditation, things like that. So people can get more in touch with their feelings and actually in some ways, become more in touch, aware of them so that they can then take more ownership for them.
Yeah. I'm going to start meditating, Ben. I decided.
Awesome.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend last night and just it all of a sudden like kind of clicked. Like, you really ought to, that's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
It's, make that choice 10 minutes in the morning.
Yep.
And just see if you can learn how to control your mind a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right? Be the boss of your thoughts a little bit more instead of just being totally passive all the time.
Yeah.
You think I can do it? 10 minutes a day?
100%. I know you can do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe you can follow up with me and see if I've actually been doing that.
Yeah.
But I would love to just, do that and see what kinds of things I'm able to learn.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a pearl. Nice. 7 pearls now on the scoreboard. 26 ties, 26 losses, 13 ties.
Yeah.
All right. Scholarship negotiation. This is an email that came in to the help@thinkinglsat.com. It says, hi, when scholarships come in from schools, what would you suggest in terms of immediate communication? I've applied to a few dozen schools. Whoa. And while I wait for comparable offers to come in from other schools to use as negotiation tools, I am sitting on many offers ranging from partial to full ride. I feel rude not reaching out with an immediate thank you, but I'm concerned that if I do, it will be taken as a signal of my satisfaction with the initial offer. Yeah, I mean, you're overthinking it there. Should I stay radio silent until I reach out with my first negotiation email? Thoughts? Thanks for everything, as always. Without your podcast, I would never even have known scholarship negotiation existed. No matter what happens, I'm headed to law school for free, so this podcast truly changed my life. And this is another anonymous.
People know what we're going to say about their emails.
Well, I don't think that's it. I think, the schools, the schools must hate the podcast because...
Yeah.
For sure, people are finding out about this game that, the game's been going on for years or decades.
Yep.
And now, because of we're just sort of like helping people see what's going on behind the curtain here. And the schools really would love it if you just take your whatever offer they send you and you just, fall down on your knees and thank them profusely.
Yeah.
For the great honor they have bestowed on you.
Yeah.
But you should not do that. You should definitely ask for more. No matter what they gave you, you should ask for more.
Yeah. I would, if you want to say thank you, but still think about it, just say that. Just say, thank you.
Yeah.
I will get back to you soon about this generous offer, period. Or just... I will get back to you
generous.
Soon. I know. Yeah. I regretted that as soon as I said it. But just say, thank you. I will get back to you soon.
Yeah. That's totally fine. And if they start pushing you for deposits, because that's what they're going to do, they're going to send you this very official looking deposit deadline.
Yep.
And they're going to say, they need $250 or $500 or $750. By the way, if you pay the $250, the next thing that they're going to send you is another deadline a month later asking for more.
Mm-hmm.
This is like if you donate money to the church or something. Okay?
Yeah.
It's never going to be enough for them. So you just need to, just say no. Just say, I can't. Yeah. I'm still deciding.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of anybody, that first deadline, if you say, sorry, I need another month to think about it,
mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever heard of anybody not being able to push that deadline back.
Yeah.
Maybe there are schools that are really hardcore about it. I'd love to know. Please email the show, help@thinkinglsat.com, if you want to, give us some more insider information about what's going on with these deposit deadlines these days at the schools. But they're basically just looking to get their hooks into you,
Yeah.
They're it's like the car dealer who, one time I was trying to buy a car. It was a Ford Focus or something. This was 20 years ago, or 10 years ago. I was trying to buy a car. And they said the dealer, I'll never forget, told me that was the only one in the local, that was the only one in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, it was a fucking Ford Focus at a Ford dealer. The artificial scarcity of, oh, well, you better take this one home today because, otherwise you're just not, it's just the only one. Fucking liars. And then the schools with these deposit deadlines, they don't, they put people on wait lists and don't admit them until April, May? Sometimes even later?
Yeah. And they take forever to respond. They treat you like you're just on a hook.
Yeah. So I would definitely recommend that you treat the schools the same way they are going to treat you.
Yeah.
It's a negotiation. It's a game of chicken.
Yep.
Hey, Stanford, we had people last year on the wait list at Stanford until September 1st. Stanford never even told them that they weren't in.
Yeah.
It was just you're on the wait list. And then never even said sorry. So, that's what they think of you.
Mm-hmm.
They are completely self-serving.
Yep.
They're trying to sell you a super expensive product. They do want to get the best talent they can get in their class, and they want that class to pay the most money that they can get them to pay.
Yeah.
So they're going to admit you and they're going to start asking you for money.
Yeah.
You just tell them, sorry, I can't do that.
Yep.
As far as when to ask for money, maybe we should just go into this spreadsheet and then we can sort of talk about it with a little bit of like context. Want to do that?
Yep.
Cool. So I'm not going to share this. We can't share this spreadsheet with everybody, but we can just talk about it. Ben and I will both look at it.
Okay.
Okay. I'll just describe here a little bit for the listeners. This applicant had a 3.89 undergraduate GPA. So real strong grades.
Okay.
A 162 LSAT.
Okay.
So strong, but not, like crazy elite LSAT by any means. Mm-hmm. But still a very good candidate, right? Like someone who probably isn't getting into Harvard, Stanford, Yale, but someone who could potentially knock on the door of some top 14s.
Yep.
And should for sure expect to get a full ride at many, many like regional schools.
Mm-hmm.
And that has bore out here with all of these offers. So what we have is an offer from, I think I can say the schools, offer from University of San Diego, offer from Chapman, offer from Santa Clara, offer from California Western. I think she's got a bunch of others out there still waiting. But these are 4 regional schools, all of which give nice scholarships. And let's talk about just kind of how good these offers are and what we think maybe she should do as far as negotiating. Like if this were her only, I don't think these will be her only 4 offers, but if these were her only 4 offers, think about maybe what she could negotiate with.
Yeah.
One thing I want to like compliment her for right away is she's put all the data into a spreadsheet. She's got the tuition amount. Then she's got the scholarship amount.
Yeah.
Then she's got a column. I had her add this column, by the way, which is tuition minus scholarship.
Really important to do that.
Well, that's the number that really matters, right?
Yeah.
Nominally, if they said their tuition is $172,000 a year, like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's your scholarship? And like, what are you actually going to charge me? So she has a column here for what she's actually going to be charged.
Yeah.
And then she put down the LSAT ranges, 75th and 25th percentile, the GPA ranges, 75th and 25th percentile. And then she even put in all from the 509s, she put in the numbers for scholarships. Like how many people got half to full, how many people got full, how many people got more than full last year, right? So she's really like educating herself here. Like she's putting it all in one spot so she can see what other people are getting, at least what they got last year.
Yep.
Then she has columns for conditional scholarships, really important. The number of people that entered with a conditional scholarship and the number of people that had their scholarship reduced or eliminated. By the way, this is all on the 509 reports. This is all public information.
This is what it takes to be a good negotiator. You know exactly what you're walking into. And so when someone slips and says, we'll give you this or we'll give you that, even if it's not a slip, you know whether it's good or bad and you can say yes or no.
This is just a lawyer, if you're not willing to do this type of shit, you're not a lawyer. You're not a good lawyer. This is like what preparation looks like. Then she put in there the conditions for keeping the scholarship, right? Because they've all given her information about what it takes. She had to actually email the school back in a lot of cases here to get them to give her like the actual requirements for keeping the scholarship.
Yeah, of course they're a little hesitant to say that.
Yep. And it's not just the condition for keeping the scholarship. So she has a column here, like at University of San Diego, you have to have a 2.86 to keep your scholarship.
Yep.
But then that's not enough because we need to know what the curve looks like.
Yeah.
And so there is a maximum median GPA for each of the classes, which are between the median GPA has to be between 3.15 and 3.25.
Yeah.
So that's less than an A minus. That's less than a B plus. My bad. That's less than a B plus. That's between a B and a B plus. That's very common, by the way. The medians are going to be between B minus and B plus at all of the schools, basically.
Yeah.
She has the date that she applied, the date that she was accepted. This is awesome, isn't it? This is like such good data.
Yeah, it is.
Holy shit. I'm noticing now she applied to Chapman on the 20. Sorry, let's maybe not say the exact dates so that they don't know who exactly she is. She applied, she got her offer from Chapman in 6 days. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
She got her offer from Santa Clara in 8 days. Mm-hmm. She got her offer from California Western that one took 3 months.
It's strange.
Oh, wait, I skipped one. Oh, and she got her offer from San Diego in 11 days. So she's a great candidate for all these schools applying early. She was sending applications in late November, early December, which is later than I would like. Although, wait, hold on. California Western, she actually applied in September. So she was doing them in waves. But she was definitely applying, Thanksgiving-ish.
Yeah.
And she's getting her offers. Most of these offers came in before Thanksgiving, or half of them came in before Thanksgiving. Half of them came in early December.
Hey, really quick. You said at one point that she had to follow up a couple times with the schools to get these numbers. I'm sure that they were sending her back some information and then either, maybe not having all this information immediately accessible to whoever she was communicating with. And so they may have just balked and not responded. But either way, she eventually got this information. And I was thinking that the schools themselves, whoever is corresponding with her is probably thinking, oh, geez, like this person really knows what they're getting into, and we'll probably be squeezed. We'll probably get.
That's good.
They
need to know that.
Well, this is the thing: is they should accept her because that's the kind of player you want on your team. You're like, I hate this. I hate that I'm being taken to town by you, but please come to our school because you're going to go on. You're going to get a job at a good law firm, and it's going to just come back to the school years to come. So anyways,
not only that, I mean, right. Obviously you're showing them that you're a good lawyer. That's a big thing that lawyers do is negotiate. But even not only that, an additional reason is part of the negotiation. You have to let the other side know that they are going to be squeezed. You have to let them know that you're not fucking around, that you're going to be tough. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, the reality is she is not going to pay for law school. Yeah. And she might as well just go ahead and show them that right off the bat. Just start asking all of these tough questions and just let them know there's nothing wrong with that. Like if she doesn't get what she wants, she's not going to their stupid school. Yep. So you might as well just, you want to say it always with a smile. Mm-hmm. You want to be professional.
You don't want to be a jerk about it.
No. Yeah. But you do want to be serious and just you want to let them know that they are going to be squeezed. Like that's part of them giving you what they want, what you want. Yeah. Is that they need to come to terms with that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so big picture here. Right now, she has a $52,000 a year scholarship to San Diego, which leaves her with $4,000 a year tuition that she'll have to pay. Okay. Chapman is a full tuition scholarship plus $10,000 living stipend, leaving her with a negative $10,000 that she'll have to pay. So they're going to actually pay her to go to Chapman. Mm-hmm. Santa Clara, $35,000 a year scholarship with a $52,000 tuition. Wow. So she's going to have to pay $17,000 a year to go to Santa Clara. That to me clearly don't go to Santa Clara unless they up their offer.
Yeah, and these are lower ranked schools.
Yeah, they're regional schools. I mean, most schools are regional schools. The vast majority of law schools are regional schools, right? If we just talk about it in terms of Harvard, Stanford, Yale, that's one tier. Mm-hmm. The rest of the top 14, maybe the top 20 is another tier. Mm-hmm. And then everything else is a regional school. Yep. Right? Painting with a broad brush there, but basically that's it.
That's roughly how it goes.
Yeah. So these are all regional schools. I think she should really consider them to be equivalent to one another, except for how much she's going to have to pay and what the renewal requirements are. Yeah. And where she wants to live and stuff. But there's no fucking way that Santa Clara is $17,000 a year better than, any of these other schools.
No way.
Well, and $27,000 a year better than Chapman, because Chapman's going to give her a stipend.
Wow.
The other thing that she pointed out was they do not cover. She asked them, and all the schools universally said that the full tuition scholarships, of course, Ben, don't cover tuition increases.
Okay.
Or at least it's not included as part of the starting offer.
That seems pretty misleading to me. Like, we're going to give you full tuition. Well, then you actually should just say the number.
Yeah.
We're going to give you X plus this. But saying full tuition to me sounds like actually a variable, not a fixed number.
Yeah. Yep. So, and the tuition increases. Every school now is just continually raising their tuition by 5% a year, maybe more, 5 to 10% a year. That has to stop, by the way. I mean, it's clear that the tuitions of the law schools are just out of control now, and that has to stop.
Yeah.
The government right now, do you agree, Ben? I mean, it's like totally against our best interest to say this, but I clearly believe that the government should not be guaranteeing these law school loans anymore. Like the program that is set up where you can borrow $175,000, $200,000 or more to go to law school and have the government like basically vouch for you for that. Mm-hmm. That's a bad investment on behalf of the government.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the good intentions. They're saying, hey, a better educated populace is going to be more economically productive and, you know, just productive in general. But like a lot of these things, people figure out the name of the game and then they start exploiting it. That's why all these problems have happened at these for-profit law schools that have taken advantage of these federal loans, and let's
not even break down the difference between for-profit and non-profit. I mean, the non-profits are nominally non-profits. Like, there are people getting rich at the non-profits.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's just, it is unintended consequences. The tuitions used to be reasonable, and the government, you know, like we passed this law that, or whatever it was. I don't know how the law came, or how the programs came to be in place, but everybody has good intentions. Yeah, of course, we want equal opportunity for everybody, so the government should guarantee these loans.
Yep.
And then, like, cut to 2 decades later, and all of the law schools have jacked their tuition up outrageously.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like a tenfold increase in tuition, Ben, over the course of 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, just vastly outstripping inflation, not even close. Just, it's like no reason. It's not, it's so disconnected from reality.
Yeah.
That they're going to charge you $56,000 a year for what? I like how it's all real specific too. $56,230. You know what I mean? To make it look like it's like that they arrived at that number by some actual adding up of costs or something.
Well,
No.
Also the other thing with those numbers, I've seen this before. It doesn't feel as big of a number as 56,000. If you say,
because if you saw all the zeros in a row, you'd be like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, it's a lot of money. But when you say 56,230, it just starts to get all muddled, and your mind is getting distracted by those things. And plus, I think there's another problem here. These numbers are so big for most people entering law school. They're, you know, way larger than any sort of expense that they've ever had in their life. That the difference between $30,000 and $56,000 is not a difference that anyone feels.
Right.
You don't feel any different. I mean, it could be 70,000 and just be like, well, it's a big number. It's I got to deal with that.
Well, it is 70 at some schools.
That is crazy. So crazy.
It's always great. All of it is crazy. It's all just totally fictional. I mean, if you pay that amount of money to go to these schools, you are just such a sucker. You are getting scammed so bad. I'm sorry. And but the thing that's the other thing is that unless your parents are paying for it, no one has that cash, right? Mm-hmm. No one's writing a check. Instead, it's the unintended consequences, right, of the perverse incentives that are all set up where the schools have an incentive to rip off this loan guarantee. Mm-hmm. And they're ripping you off because eventually you are going to have to pay it back unless, you know, Bernie Sanders or whatever forgives all of this billions of dollars of debt, which is just, I don't know why, that's like actually a joke, right? He's like, let's forgive all of this debt. How about let's get rid of the programs that help people get into this debt in the first place?
Yeah, staunch the bleeding.
Getting rid of the debt, all that is like, it's essentially a giveaway to the schools.
It's like
just going to encourage
behavior.
the schools to keep doing what the fuck they've been doing. Yes, exactly. Now, of course, I think Bernie also wants to just make all higher education free or whatever, which, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that would work.
Jesus Christ. Ben, I saw Ted Cruz yesterday in some awful viral video. Have you seen the one where he's smoking a cigar?
What? No.
Ted Cruz is the most evil douche in the world. But
is he still in office? I didn't even know that.
Yes. He was talking about how he thinks there's this proposal that, like 527 plans, the education savings plans.
Yeah.
Apparently there's some proposal to make it so that the 527 plans can be used for test prep.
Okay.
I was like, that's a horrible idea. It would make me rich, but that's a horrible fucking idea. Are you kidding me? People should not be getting tax breaks for saving money, for paying me for expensive private tutoring.
Tax breaks in general are it's just a whole, like, it's, I don't know. It just makes the playing field so uneven because the people who get them are the ones who lobby for them, and they're the ones who have money for that.
Well, it's just like, who's getting rich off of this? Somebody's getting rich every time. Someone's getting rich off of it. But anyways, fuck you, Ted Cruz. Please don't. That's just such a bad idea. Anyway, those are her offers. Yeah. Oh, California Western, full tuition. So she's paying $0. Okay, so here's the offers.
Wow, California Western is full tuition? They don't know what they're competing against.
Full tuition scholarship, California Western. So she pays $0, at least for the first year. She pays $0 to go to California Western. Mm-hmm. They, by the way,
I misunderstood. Okay, got it.
They have a 75th percentile LSAT of 153.
Yeah.
Santa Clara with a 159 is going to want to charge her $17,500 a year. Mm-hmm. But boy, she's got to be a full ride at Santa Clara, right? She's above their 75th. She's way above their 75th GPA, and she's above their 75th LSAT.
Yeah, they just came out with a low offer.
Yeah, they're totally low balling her. Chapman has a 75th of 160. Chapman has much better numbers than Santa Clara. Interesting.
And they're offering her full tuition plus $10,000.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm very intrigued by this Chapman offer.
Especially when you look at the conditions of the scholarship, it gets even more interesting. Yeah.
So let's get over there in just a second. San Diego, she's going to have to pay $4,000 a year. These is all before negotiation. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Let's assume she's agnostic about where she wants to live. Mm-hmm. These schools, Ben, is there any difference between these schools? As someone who lives in DC, do you think the law firms are like, there's a difference between these schools?
I mean, I think that given that Cal Western is so much lower with their 75th percentile, I imagine that anyone who knows anything about these schools may have more of a negative feeling about that school than the other three. But the other three seem indistinguishable to me.
To be clear, this has nothing to do with the quality of education that you're going to get at that school. It has everything to do with the signaling factor. Yeah. They know what numbers it takes to get into that school. Mm-hmm. So, they just know that California Western is admitting people with a 149. That's actually their 25th percentile. Eesh. 25% of the class has less than a 149, Ben.
That's not good.
That's fucking terrible, dude. If that's the best LSAT you can get, so Cal Western is admitting people with like a 145.
Wow.
In California, man. Okay. Anyway, where do you start? You're liking. I mean, hey, the Chapman $10,000 stipend.
Well, I'm liking Chapman for one. It's in the top 3 of these schools, and I'm grouping those all together. It's the best deal by far. It's $10,000. Negative. She's getting $10,000. That's going to go down a little bit every year because she's not actually getting a quote full tuition scholarship every year as the tuition increases. But when I look over at these conditional scholar, what's the conditions for keeping the scholarship? That's very significant. And it says that the maximum median GPA for Chapman is 2.8. So, and then the condition for keeping it is 2.9. So what does that suggest?
Yeah. I mean, so, and then look at the previous two columns, right? This is where I don't know, rubber meets the road or whatever fucking stupid cliche you want to use. But they had in 2018, 2019, they had 118 people entered with one of these conditional scholarships. 57 of them had that scholarship reduced or eliminated.
Yeah. I mean, if your condition for keeping the scholarship is higher than the maximum median GPA, you have to be doing better than your peers to keep it, which is the most people there, right? Which is, I don't know, it's not totally unreasonable, but that's something you got to keep in mind, and that's why people are losing these. So they might be tempting.
That's of the scholarship people, Ben.
Yeah.
There's 491 people in the school, but of the scholarship people, half of them had it reduced or eliminated.
Yeah, and that's another interesting question. What do they mean by how many were reduced, how many were eliminated? Because getting it knocked down 10%, well, that hurts. But eliminated, you're now going from getting 10 grand to paying 54,718 plus whatever increase they've given you over that time period. That is horrible.
So there's grading notes on the spreadsheet. It's you have to have a 2.9. The median GPA is a 2.8. Actually, that's the maximum that the median GPA can be. So lower is acceptable, but higher is not.
Interesting.
Then it says, so all courses required to be taken by full-time students in the first year are subject to a 2.8 maximum median. So that's not the median, that's the maximum that the median can possibly be. Subject to the following mandatory and appropriate grade distribution. Fucking douchebags. Anyway, 3.7 to 4.0. So that means all of the A minuses and A's. There's a required range of 0 to 15%. 0 to 15%. It's okay if they give no A's and no A minuses. Wow. Maximum, though, Ben, of 15% A's and A minuses.
Okay.
So 15%, I mean, that's, if you have 100 people in the class, there's a maximum of 15 A minuses.
That's interesting. Could take a look at the next number.
Then grade 0 to 1.9. So let's see, a C is a 2.0, right? So this is C minus and worse. At least 10% of the class has to get a C minus or worse.
Wow.
So, hey, at these regional schools, Ben, they should be doing this. They should be failing people out of school.
It's just interesting because it's a theoretical thing that I'm struggling with. Like in theory, you could have everyone hit some objective mark, but they're saying even if you did, you're going to have to give 10% of these people a C minus or lower.
Every school does this. They do it more at the lower ranked, regional schools, and they should, because what they really should be doing is failing people out after their first semester or failing them out after their first year so that they don't continue to rip them off.
Well,
right?
But they don't care about that, right? If they can just take away your scholarship, they're like, fine. If you want to pay full rate freight, go ahead.
Yep, that's normally what they're doing, right? They're trying to take away your scholarships. They're also trying to fire a shot across the bow of the people who are doing really, really poorly. Hey, get your shit together so that we don't have to fail you out, so that we can continue to rip you off for $57,000 a year. I think she has started to push back on, hey, can I negotiate these limitations? And I think she's getting lots of. I don't think she's making any progress at all on that. The schools don't seem to want to negotiate the policies on the restrictions on your scholarship.
So
I guess I can see why. It'd be real hard
Yeah.
to negotiate each one of those individually, right?
Yeah, then you'd have that's an exception student. So these policies are probably set in stone. The question is, what amount of money will you get? That's definitely fluid.
Yeah, because it's much easier for them to just go, okay, we'll jack your stipend up to $15,000 a year.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about that offer? What do you think her? She's got a 162.
And she has a 3.89.
Yep, she's demonstrated hard worker in her undergrad, and smart. She's above the 75th percentile at the school.
For both numbers, yeah.
Yeah, but the fact remains that half of the people at Chapman last year had their scholarship reduced or eliminated.
Yeah, that's a risk. Basically, she's going into that school with the potential to get $10,000 more than Cal Western.
You know what? Let's point out one other thing about these numbers, though. She's got the scholarships. How many people got what scholarships?
Yeah.
So 190 people got half to full tuition, 0 got full tuition, and 7 got more than full tuition. So she's looking at a more than full tuition scholarship offer.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that she's looking at a more than full tuition scholarship offer and they don't give that many of those, or at least they didn't last year,
suggests that she's competitive.
Yeah, suggests that she's probably
applicants.
Yeah, like so all scholarship recipients have about a 50% chance of losing their scholarship based on how many lost their scholarship last year. I would say I don't think she has a 50% chance of losing her scholarship.
No, I agree. But it's still some number that's, I mean...
It's not 0, for sure.
Like, imagine for a second that it's 10%. Are you willing to take a 10% chance that you'll have to start paying $56,000 or $55,000, really $65,000 more for the last 2 years of your schooling or something? I mean...
Or drop out.
Yeah. You lost it, so now you're done. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying it's out. I would also want to know what her undergraduate degree was in, because the more challenging it was, the more likely it is that she'll be able to compete and maintain this high GPA. Yep. Criminal justice would make me nervous.
Okay. Want to talk about any of these other offers? What do you think the next best offer is?
That's a good question. The conditions, I'm just going to look at the conditions really quick. So University of San Diego is not bad because the condition for keeping it is 2.86, but the maximum median GPA is between 3.15 and 3.25. So you can be below most applicants at your class.
And then look at the actual conditional scholarships from last year.
Yeah, only about 15% lost or were reduced or eliminated. So it's a lot better than...
And that's right in line with what we would expect if the condition for keeping the scholarship is below the median GPA of the classes.
Yeah.
Then it means it's easier to keep the scholarship. Yeah. Maybe she could negotiate there.
Yeah, ask for more money. Say, hey, look, I'm getting a $10,000 stipend at Chapman. And they say, okay, well, we'll give you full. Then
she's above their 75th LSAT and GPA.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would ask for more money. I don't think she's going to get more money from Chapman. It feels like they've tapped out. So if she could get more money from University of San Diego... Maybe,
although look, they didn't give any full tuition scholarships or more than full tuition scholarships last year. At least not according to their 509. Yeah. So it might not be possible, but she can always ask, right?
Yeah, she can ask, and if she does, wow, that seems like a lot more sure of a bet. So
okay.
I don't know. Those are two good options. I also like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm between those two.
Santa Clara absolutely could offer her more money. She's above their 75th on both LSAT and GPA. There's no planet on which she should pay $17,000 a year to go to that school. They did give 9 full tuition scholarships last year. Who are they giving it to if not to her? I mean, she's more qualified than their class. So
they're giving it to the ones who asked, right? Really? That's what
totally. Well, they're certainly giving it to the people who yes. At Santa Clara, they took away about a third of the scholarships. The requirement for keeping it there is a 3.0. They have this super complicated here. Do you see how complicated all the grading notes are here?
Yeah.
For what it takes to keep your scholarship. Jesus Christ. A to A minus, no fewer than 8%, no more than 12%.
Oh my gosh.
A through B minus, no fewer than 45%, no more than 55%.
They really control that bell curve. Okay.
Yeah. Wait, but that doesn't even make sense. A and A minus, no fewer than 8%, no more than 12. And then A, so that's a cumulative thing, A through B minus. You have to subtract out the 8 to 12% that has to get an A or an A minus.
That must be A to A plus. Oh, but then, yeah, why not just A plus?
Oh, no, but then it would just have to say A minus on the next. Whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows? She might have to fix that. But C minus and below, no fewer than 8%. So, and that's a 1.7, by the way. If you get a single C minus, you are not keeping your scholarship. I mean, it's going to be almost impossible to keep your scholarship with a C minus on your, because there's just not enough A's to balance it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it would take a hell of a lot of B pluses. 3.3 plus 3.3 plus 3.3 plus 1.7? I don't know. That's not a 3.0.
Yeah.
Okay. Cal Western. It's interesting. I guess the important thing to give to the listeners is you need to think about the net tuition that you're going to have to pay after scholarship.
Yep.
You need to think about the conditions for keeping the scholarship, not just whatever the GPA is, though, because the GPA by itself is meaningless if you don't know what the median GPA is of the school. Mm-hmm. They're going to give you a very complicated grade distribution range. So at Cal Western, 5 to 10% get between a 90 and a 95. Mm-hmm. Notice that it seems as if you can't get more than a 95.
Yeah.
At Cal Western, there is no 96 to 100.
We haven't heard of that before. What does that?
No,
what does that mean?
Are you kidding? Yeah. Between 5 and 15% have to get an 85 to 89. 10 to 20% get between an 80 and an 84. 30 to 60, though. Yeah, like the bulk of the class at Cal Western is getting between a 74 and a 79. But then you have to keep a 3.0, which I assume a 74 to 79 is a C, right? That's a C
to
plus.
C plus, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to have a 3.0. So now I'm going to predict that lots of people lose their scholarships at Cal Western.
What's it say? Oh, yeah. I mean, not as bad as Chapman, but still decent.
Well, last year, 191 got one and 67 lost it. Mm-hmm. This brings us kind of to the, and I know you got to probably wrap it up here pretty quick, Humpen.
No worries.
This brings us to the broken 509 reports.
Yeah.
Because Cal Western, out of nowhere, they gave 191 scholarships and 67 of them were reduced or eliminated. That was on their 2017-2018 509. But the 2018-2019 509 that just came out, it says 10 people entered with a conditional scholarship and only one of them was reduced or eliminated.
Yeah, did they drastically change their
Well, I don't think so, because the policies that they gave this applicant this cycle,
yeah.
I mean, unless they changed back, I don't think so. My hypothesis is the 509 is broken.
Okay.
So you might want to ask the schools if something doesn't look right on the 509. You might want to ask the schools, because we're actually seeing a whole bunch of these new 509s that seem broken.
And if they can't answer those questions, I mean, that's a red flag too.
Yeah. Broken 509s. You want to go through this email, or just I want to just like take a peek at these to see if they're actually really like that. So I'm looking at the 2019 509 report for Santa Clara. Mm-hmm. Tuition.
Oh.
Where does it even say the tuition?
This is on the second page near the top.
Oh, yeah. Full-time.
Per credit.
It's got no per semester.
It's all zeros.
Per year. But there's per credit tuition, which
is $1,900.
Oh, okay. And then if you multiply that by 15 per, that's that, right? So multiply that by 30.
Yep.
Yep. That's going to be the number. So it's not broken necessarily, but it is a fucking, they're clearly like hiding. They're hiding the information, right? Oh, yeah. It's a 1,000.
It's only $1,900 a credit.
76 per credit times 15. times 2 per year.
Well, this is something that we've talked about before.
60 grand.
These are confusing because it says per semester, but we think that they've given us the yearly or the annual tuition on these in the past, even though it says per semester. I don't get that.
I'm going to look at Cal Western's here because she's saying that Cal Western has 0 listed for their living expenses. Is that right? Oh, yeah. Estimated living expenses for singles living on campus, $0.
Cool, man.
What's going on, Ben? I thought that this was a required disclosure document because the American Bar Association is wanting to protect consumers.
Yep, it's the fox watching the hen house. They probably don't care. There's not even a person maybe even over this, right?
Like no one's even checking to see if it's even...
I guess we have to check. Or really, I mean, the users, the applicants check, right? It's like you apply to a school, step number 1 is you have to check their 509.
Except
if their
that we know
509
they
is
don't.
shady, ask them. And if they don't answer, don't go.
I bet less than 10% of applicants ever look at the 509.
Yeah.
It just, like a lot of these things are clearly just filled out as I'm looking at Marquette's now.
Yeah.
Living expenses 2018-2019 or 2019-2020 living expenses. Living on campus 19,400. Living off campus 19,400. Living at home 19,400. Why even have the fucking bit? Why even have it on the sheet? I think that they're just like, yeah, this is all required shit. We're just going to put in some numbers. No one's ever going to check us on it.
Well, not that this matters, but I like how on is lowercase and off is capitalized and at is capitalized. Like, what the hell is going on here? But really, at home should be much cheaper.
Of course. You're not paying rent, presumably, unless your parents are charging you rent.
Or food. Gosh. I don't understand.
Looking at... Whoa. I just clicked on... Oh, this is an older one from Wisconsin. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. This is just an older one. If anything looks funny on the 509, you're going to want to dig deeper. The 509s do have a lot of valuable information on them, but unfortunately, they are very frequently broken as well. What do you think? Just ask the school?
I say ask them. It's a great opportunity to check their candor. Dig in, learn more.
If nothing else, yeah. They're just so slimy, though. You need to realize how crafty of a salesman you're talking to every time you talk to these admissions officers.
Yeah.
They are professional. They are like, just imagine the slickest car salesman you can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
These people sell much more expensive shit than that car salesman does. And it's much more of like this ephemeral, you don't even get a car. You get a piece of paper at the end. Mm-hmm. And it costs way more than a car. and so they're just like, they're slick. Like they make a living. Every year they charge $50,000 a year to 200 or 300 different applicants.
Yeah, think about this
so
too.
They're gonna bullshit you. I mean, they're gonna make it look like they're your best friend. Anyway, thank you, Anonymous, for sharing all that with us. Hopefully that was somewhat helpful for all the listeners out there. If you're getting your offers now, you just really need to be making a spreadsheet like this and get all the information lined up, and then really be able to compare, because you're not going to be able to negotiate if you don't arm yourself with this information.
Yeah.
All right. You want to read this last email and then we'll wrap it up?
Yeah. Hello, Ben and Nathan. I listen to your podcasts every day, and I really like the information about personal statements. However, I want to hear more about the final paragraph. You said many times about the importance of the first sentence. I'm pretty sure the last sentence is just as important.
No.
In your not just as important.
That's wrong, Max. Yeah.
It is important. You do want to end on a good note if you can.
It's definitely not just as important, because there's lots of cases where they could read the first sentence and not even read the last sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
last impression versus first impression. In your podcast, you repeatedly said that you did not like people bragging about why they thought they were good candidates or why they thought they would fit this particular law school. Yes, that's true because it's all telling.
Yep.
I am awesome. So what? How am I supposed to know that?
Also, you don't know anything about the particular school.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you went on their website, you don't really know anything. But anyway.
Yeah. So, can you explain what a good closing statement is? For example, in my personal statement, I talked about my job and provided several examples of my accomplishments at work.
Good.
Once this is all done, how do I wrap it up? So, my preference is that people who write about work tend to fall into two categories. They write about work that is obviously law-oriented. It may not be law, but it makes sense that you're now going to law school. For example, people who work at law firms, people who work on the Hill, and I mean in like the legislative process. Sometimes people who work maybe in some totally different field, but they are obviously involved with contracts or something. It's like, oh, okay, I can see why you're going to law school. In those cases, I don't think you often need a closing paragraph per se. You just end with, look, this is what I did, and that your statement just ends. But if you're going to talk about work and it doesn't make any sense how your work experience relates to law school, then I do like people to end with a sentence that maybe connects something that they've done to going to law school. Like, oh, I'm going to law school because I want to continue maybe one aspect of your work on a higher level or something, or as an attorney or something like that. These closing paragraphs don't need to be long in most cases. Sometimes they're just one sentence. Sometimes they're like two or three. But when they get longer than that, a lot of times people are they're just talking about the future. They're talking about how they have good skills or how they're a good fit for law school. Those things are all telling. They're useless, and they often have the opposite of their intended effect. So I don't know. That's my general advice.
Yeah, I think one sentence, sometimes you don't need anything at all. Mm-hmm. I think and I think you can just read it and get the feel of it. If it sounds really abrupt that you just like stop, mm-hmm. and it doesn't feel like there was any kind of a wrap up, okay, then yeah, you probably need something.
Yeah.
But you definitely don't need, for the above reasons, I am applying to law school so that I can expand my skills and this is the next necessary step on the path to becoming an attorney who can practice the law to serve.
Yeah.
This is like, okay, shut up. Just but sometimes you do need one sentence that says, I like one forward-looking sentence that says what you think you want to do next. Mm-hmm. But not, I want to go to law school so that I can. It's like, yeah, we know you're applying to law school. We know you're going to get the necessary skills, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I think it's appropriate a lot of times to say one particular area of the law that interests you.
Yeah.
Especially if it ties in nicely with the shit you've been doing before.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I really like I hope to continue working in, commercial real estate transactions.
There you go. Yeah. It connects.
Or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Your whole statement was about commercial real estate. I mean, and that's a case where law school kind of does make sense. But, if you're talking about your music career or your child therapy career or, I don't know, your physical therapy career, it's kind of like, okay, well, wait, where are you going with this? And so you might need a sentence or two or three kind of like drawing the reader to why you're going in this different direction. Hopefully you've actually weaved some of that into your personal statement, depending on how you place your sentences. People tend to overdo it, but there are ways where you can kind of hint at, like as I was a physical therapist, I also was putting, I hate these sentences. This is not what I would say, but I worked on, some operating agreement or something like that for my physical therapy company. And it's like, they worked on an operating agreement. So that, okay, I can see maybe they might have liked that. And then you could talk about continuing that kind of work done, right?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I wish we had better examples of this, but I think one sentence saying what you want to do next. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be, I know that I will be an excellent, immigration lawyer or whatever.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. People, it's like they just push it like a little too far. It's like, what? Just say, I want to do this. I want to continue to work with immigrants as an attorney. Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. And if you can give the sense that you're not like dead set on it, I think that's good. Mm-hmm. If it's just like, I don't know, this is not exactly right, but as I look forward to law school, I hope to be able to work with this XYZ.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just like keep it short, keep it simple, keep it humble. Mm-hmm. Because it's not when you're talking about shit you've actually done, you don't need to soft sell it. I mean, you don't need to oversell it, right? You don't need to like editorialize about your own achievements. You just say what you did. You don't need to like hide it though. You can just go ahead and say, oh, well, I did this, I did that, I did this other thing. That's fine. That's not bragging. That's just saying what you did, like that you're supposed to be putting your best foot forward here.
Yeah. But
when you talk about what you want to do, that's where especially I think you need to kind of keep it humble, right? Because you don't know. You don't people always love to say what they know.
Yeah.
I know that University of California, Irvine will provide me with the skills I need to succeed in the sports and entertainment law. It's like, what? You don't know what, you do not know that.
That reminds me of that statement we read where the author alluded to his plans to become president of the United States. I was like, okay, well, I wish you luck. I don't know. Anyways.
Cool. All right. Anything else you want to say about anything we had on the agenda today?
No, that's all.
Beautiful. Thanks everybody for writing in. Remember, you can email the show, help@thinkinglsat.com. Follow us on social media. We are at thinkinglsat on Instagram and Twitter, maybe some other stuff as well. Join the Thinking LSAT podcast group on Facebook. I just checked the numbers the other day for that, Ben. We've got like between 16 and 1,700 members in that group on Facebook. Of course, weirdly, none of those people seem like they actually listen to the show. There's a lot of like, I listened to one episode and it said, don't pay for law school. Where can I get some resources about that? And it's like, well, literally every episode of the show, including this one. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining the group and for participating. Thinking LSAT on Facebook. You can visit strategyprep.com if you want to learn about Ben's classes in DC, foxlsat.com to learn about my classes in Los Angeles and San Francisco. We do on one-on-one tutoring. Also, each of us do on Skype. You can go to lsatdemon.com if you want to see our joint project. Anything else you want to say about the Demon, Ben? No, not at all. Just check it out.
Yep.
It speaks for itself. lsatdemon.com, and there's a 7-day trial. You can listen to the show all sorts of ways. I don't know how you're listening to it now, but we are on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Stitcher. You can go directly to the website if you want, thinkinglsat.com, and listen to it there. Sign up for our newsletter. That's at thinkinglsat.com. You can get the show notes delivered automatically to your inbox every week.
Including links that we talk about.
Yeah, including links that we talk about on the show. Leave us a review on iTunes or wherever else. Our marketing budget for the show is exactly $0, so no one finds out about us unless you help to spread the word. That was episode 225 of the Thinking LSAT podcast. Thanks all y'all for listening. Nice knowing you. Don't pay for law school.